You are not limited to manifesting one desire at a time, just as God does not create one thing at a time, but sustains and creates countless realities in every eternal moment. Let me tell you that your consciousness, your wonderful human imagination, is not bound by the limitations of time and space that appear so real to your mortal senses. Your imagination, which is God Himself operating in you, can hold multiple states with perfect clarity and bring them all into your physical experience with mathematical precision. Now let us understand this principle deeply. When you enter your room at night, you do not light one corner and wait for it to brighten before lighting another. You simply switch on the light, and the entire room is illuminated instantly. This is how your consciousness works with multiple manifestations. You need not complete one before beginning another. They all exist then or do in the wonderful human imagination. I tell you, time is merely a device of your mortal mind. In the realm of consciousness, all things exist simultaneously. When you truly grasp this, you will understand that manifesting multiple desires is no more difficult than manifesting a single desire. For in consciousness, there is no competition, no waiting line, no priority queue. Let me share with you a principle that I have tested countless times. When you desire to manifest multiple things, you must first understand that they all exist now near in what I call the fourth dimensional world, the world of consciousness. Your physical world is merely a shadow, a reflection of what you have assumed to be true in consciousness. Consider this when you dream at night. Your dream contains multiple elements, people, places, events, all existing simultaneously. Your consciousness creates and sustains all these elements without effort or strain. This same power operates in your waking state through your wonderful human imagination. Here's a technique I want to share with you tonight. Instead of thinking of your desires as separate entities competing for manifestation, see them as different aspects of your already existing perfect life. Just as a diamond has many facets, yet remains one diamond, your desired state has many aspects, yet remains one state, the state of fulfillment. You must learn to live from the end. See yourself already in possession of all that you desire. Make your multiple desires a single composite state. If you desire financial abundance, perfect health, and harmonious relationships simultaneously, do not separate them in your consciousness. Create a single scene that implies the fulfillment of all these desires. Let me give you an example. Instead of creating separate scenes for each desire, construct one scene where you are discussing with a friend how wonderful your life is, implying the fulfillment of all your desires. In this conversation, you naturally mention your flourishing business, your perfect health, and your harmonious relationships as already existing facts. This single scene, when entered into with feeling and conviction, will set in motion all that is necessary for the manifestation of your multiple desires. Remember, my dear friends, the outside world is dead. It has no power to create or to prevent. It is purely a shadow world reflecting what you have assumed to be true in consciousness. Therefore, do not be concerned with the how or the when of your manifestations. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled for all your desires. Now, here's a vital point that many miss. When manifesting multiple desires, you must not strain or effort. Strain implies that what you want is absent, distant, or difficult to achieve. Instead, relax into the assumption that all your desires are already fulfilled. Feel the naturalness of having all that you desire. I want you to understand this deeply. The feeling is the secret. The feeling of naturalness is the key to manifesting multiple desires simultaneously. When something is natural to you, it requires no effort to maintain. You don't wake up each morning wondering if gravity will work today. Its operation is natural to you. This is how your fulfilled desire should feel, natural, normal, and already yours. Let me tell you a principle that has never failed. Before you sleep tonight, review your day as though all your desires are already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the completeness of having all that you desire. Make this feeling so real that as you drift into sleep, your physical world seems like a shadow and your imagined state feels more real. You see, my dear friends, manifesting multiple desires simultaneously is not about working harder or doing more. It's about understanding the true nature of consciousness and its relationship to your physical world. Your consciousness is the only reality. All else is derived from it. When you truly grasp this, you will understand that there is no limit to what you can manifest simultaneously. Just as a mirror reflects everything placed before it without strain or selection, your physical world must reflect whatever state you have assumed in consciousness. Now, let me share with you another profound truth. Your multiple desires, though they may seem separate in the physical world, are united in consciousness by a single feeling, the feeling of fulfillment. This is why I emphasize feeling rather than visualization. The feeling of fulfillment, when achieved, automatically brings with it all that is necessary for its expression in your physical world. Remember, my dear friends, revision is a powerful tool when manifesting multiple desires. If during your day events seem to contradict your desired state, revise them immediately in your imagination. See them conforming perfectly to your desires. This is not denial, this is the proper use of the law. You must persist in this practice until your desired state becomes your dominant feeling. Just as a musician must practice until the piece becomes second nature, you must persist in your assumption until it becomes your natural state of being. Let me tell you something that many find hard to accept. Time is not a factor in the fulfillment of your desire. What appears to take time in the physical world is merely the unfolding of what has already been accomplished in consciousness. Therefore, when manifesting multiple desires, do not think in terms of time or sequence. Your wonderful human imagination knows no limitations. It can handle multiple desires with the same ease as it handles one. Just as your eyes can perceive multiple objects simultaneously without strain, your consciousness can hold multiple fulfilled desires without effort. Here is a practical application. Before you sleep tonight. Construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of all your desires. Make it a short, simple scene. Perhaps you are sharing with a friend how everything in your life has fallen perfectly into place. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the completeness of this state. Fall asleep in this feeling. Remember, my dear friends, your consciousness is God operating in you as you. Therefore, it has the power to fulfill all your desires simultaneously. There is no need for prioritization or scheduling in consciousness. All is no-do. When doubts arise, and they will arise, for that is the nature of the mortal mind, remember this truth. Your physical senses show you only shadows of past assumptions. Your true power lies in your ability to assume a new state now, regardless of what your senses dictate. Let me share with you another principle. Your multiple desires are not separate entities requiring separate efforts. They are different aspects of your expanded consciousness. When you truly understand this, you will see that manifesting multiple desires is as natural as breathing. Consider this: when you breathe, you don't consciously coordinate the multiple processes involved. Your body knows exactly what to do. Similarly, when you assume the feeling of your wishes fulfilled, the infinite intelligence within you knows exactly how to bring about their manifestation. Now, here is a vital point about manifesting multiple desires. Do not concern yourself with the bridge of incidents, the series of events that will lead to your manifestation. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The infinite intelligence within you will arrange all the necessary details. Remember, my dear friends, your physical world is merely your servant, faithfully reflecting your consciousness assumptions. Therefore, maintain your assumption of fulfillment regardless of appearances. The physical world has no choice but to conform to your conscious assumptions. Let me emphasize this point. When manifesting multiple desires, do not make the mistake of trying to figure out how they will all come about. This is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Here is another practical application. Throughout your day, whenever you think of any of your desires, see them as already fulfilled. Make this your habitual attitude. Let the feeling of fulfillment be your constant companion. Remember, my dear friends, you are not trying to make something happen. You are assuming that it has already happened. This is the crucial difference that many fail to grasp. You are not working towards something, you are living from the end. When manifesting multiple desires, maintain this attitude. Isn't it wonderful that everything is working out perfectly in my life? This simple attitude, maintained with feeling, will do more for your manifestation than all the planning and striving in the world. Let me tell you something about the nature of manifestation. Everything in your physical world is a manifestation of consciousness. Therefore, when you change your consciousness, everything in your world must change to conform to your new assumption. This is why, my dear friends, I emphasize the importance of living from the end. When you live from the end, you are not trying to make things happen. You are simply allowing what is already complete in consciousness to unfold in your physical experience. Remember this principle: your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, everything you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell is a shadow of your conscious assumptions. Therefore, when manifesting multiple desires, focus on maintaining the consciousness of fulfillment. Here is another practical point. Do not discuss your desires or your practice of this law with those who would doubt or discourage you. Your manifestations are sacred, should be kept within the sanctuary of your own consciousness until they appear in your physical world. Let me share with you another truth about manifesting multiple desires. The feeling of fulfillment is your compass. If you are properly assuming the feeling of your wish is fulfilled, you will experience a deep sense of satisfaction and peace, regardless of external circumstances. Remember, my dear friends, the law is simple but exact. It works with mathematical precision. Whatever you assume is true in consciousness must be expressed in your physical world. This is why you can manifest multiple desires simultaneously, because in consciousness all is possible and no law. Your physical senses may argue against this truth. They may show you evidence that seems to contradict your desires. But remember, your senses only show you the effects of past assumptions. Your power lies in your ability to assume a new state now. Let me give you another practical application. When you lie down to sleep tonight, feel as though you are lying down in the state of your wishes fulfilled. Feel the satisfaction, the completeness, the joy of having all that you desire. This feeling, impressed upon your subconscious mind during sleep, will work wonders. Remember this vital point: your subconscious mind does not argue. It simply accepts what you feel to be true and works faithfully to express it in your physical world. Therefore, when manifesting multiple desires, focus on impressing upon your subconscious mind the feeling of complete fulfillment. Let me share with you another vital aspect of this law. When you dream at night, do you find your dream limited to one scene, one desire, or one experience? No. Your dream consciousness effortlessly creates entire worlds, complete with multiple characters, scenarios, and experiences, all happening simultaneously. This is the same power that you possess in your waking state through your wonderful human imagination. I tell you with complete conviction that your consciousness is like an infinite ocean, capable of holding countless drops of desires without becoming full or strained. Just as the ocean doesn't struggle to contain its many waves, your consciousness doesn't struggle to hold multiple manifestations. Now let me share with you a deeper principle that many overlook. When you truly understand that all of time exists, now you will realize that there is no such thing as sequence in consciousness. Your tomorrow, your next year, your perfect life, they all exist now in the eternal moment of consciousness. Consider this: when you enter a movie theater, the entire film exists on the reel, though you experience it scene by scene. Similarly, all your desires exist and all in consciousness, though they may appear to manifest sequentially in your physical experience. This is why I tell you that manifesting multiple desires simultaneously is not only possible but natural. Here is another profound truth: your consciousness is not divided into compartments. It doesn't maintain separate folders for your different desires. All your desires exist in a unified state of fulfillment in consciousness. This is why focusing on the feeling of complete fulfillment naturally brings about the manifestation of all your desires. Let me give you a deeper understanding of this principle. When you say "I am," you are expressing the fullness of your being. This I am consciousness contains within it all that you could ever desire. Therefore, when manifesting multiple desires, focus on the feeling of "I am," the feeling of being the person who has all these desires fulfilled. Remember, my dear friends, the physical world is merely a shadow, a reflection of your conscious assumptions. Just as a shadow cannot choose what to reflect, your physical world cannot choose which of your assumptions to manifest. It must reflect all of them faithfully. Here is another practical application of this law. Throughout your day, whenever you think of your desires, do not see them as separate goals to be achieved. See them as different aspects of your already perfect life. Feel the wholeness, the completeness of being the person who has all these desires fulfilled. Let me share with you a deeper truth about the nature of consciousness. Your consciousness is not bound by the limitations of physical space. Just as a single seed contains within it the pattern for an entire forest, your consciousness contains within it all possible states of fulfillment. When you truly grasp this principle, you will understand that manifesting multiple desires simultaneously is not about dividing your attention or energy. It's about expanding your consciousness to embrace the fullness of your desired state. Consider this: when you look at a beautiful garden, you don't see each flower separately. You experience the beauty of the whole garden as one unified experience. This is how you should hold your multiple desires in consciousness, as one unified state of fulfillment. Let me tell you something about the nature of assumption. When you assume a state, you are not creating something new. You are simply choosing to experience what already exists in consciousness. Therefore, when manifesting multiple desires, you are simply choosing to experience the state where all these desires are already fulfilled. Remember this crucial point. Your physical senses may tell you that your desires are separate, that they must be achieved one at a time. But I tell you, this is merely the illusion of time and space. In consciousness, all is one, all is now. Here is another practical application. When you lie down to sleep tonight, instead of reviewing your desires as separate items on a list, feel the completeness of being the person who has all these desires fulfilled. Feel the naturalness, the ease, the grace of living in this state. Let me share with you another profound truth about manifestation. The feeling of fulfillment is not divided. You don't feel partially fulfilled or fulfilled in stages. When you truly capture the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is a complete, whole feeling that encompasses all your desires. Consider this: when you are truly happy, you don't analyze the different aspects of your happiness. You simply feel happy as a complete state of being. This is how you should approach manifesting multiple desires, as one complete state of fulfillment. Remember, my dear friends, the law operates with perfect precision. It doesn't distinguish between big desires and small desires, between one desire and many desires. It simply responds to your conscious assumptions with mathematical precision. Let me emphasize this point: your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, every circumstance, every condition, every event in your physical world is simply consciousness made visible. Therefore, when you change your consciousness to one of complete fulfillment, your entire world must change to reflect this new assumption. Here is another vital truth. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is your most precious gift. It is the feeling that sets in motion all that is necessary for the manifestation of your desires. Therefore, nurture this feeling, protect it, maintain it regardless of appearances. Remember, my dear friends, you are not trying to make something happen in the future. You are choosing to experience what already exists in consciousness. This is why manifesting multiple desires simultaneously is not about effort or struggle. It's about choosing to experience the state where all your desires are already fulfilled. Let me share with you another principle. The state of fulfillment is not a distant goal to be achieved. It is a present choice to be made. Right now, in this eternal moment, you can choose to experience the state where all your desires are fulfilled. Consider this: when you dream at night, you don't create the dream piece by piece. The entire dream experience appears fully formed in your consciousness. This is how manifestation works. The entire state of fulfillment exists now in consciousness, waiting for you to step into it. Remember this truth: your physical world has no choice but to reflect your conscious assumptions. Therefore, when you assume the state of complete fulfillment, all circumstances, all conditions, All events must rearrange themselves to reflect this assumption. For this is the law, my dear friends. It is exact, it is precise, and it never fails. Test it in your own experience. Prove its truth through application. For in the end, it is not what you believe about the law that matters. It is what you prove through experience. And so I tell you again, go forth and apply this law. Live from the state of complete fulfillment. Maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled regardless of appearances. For as surely as night follows day, your physical world must conform to your conscious assumptions. For this is the promise and the law, as within, so without. As above, so below. What you assume in consciousness must manifest in your physical experience. This is the way, this is the truth, and this is the life. Remember, my dear friends, you are the operant power. You are the consciousness in which all things exist. Therefore, choose wisely, assume lovingly, and live constantly in the state of your wishes fulfilled. For this is the secret of manifesting multiple desires simultaneously. To live from the end, to live in the state of complete fulfillment nano D. And in this eternal now all things are possible, all desires are fulfilled, and all manifestation is complete. This is the truth I share with you tonight. This is the law that never fails. This is the promise that is always kept. In closing, my dear friends, remember that you are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness is the only reality. Your physical world is simply responding to what you have assumed to be true. Therefore, assume wisely, assume lovingly, and above all, assume the feeling of your wishes fulfilled. Imagine, if you will, that your imagination is not just a fleeting fancy, but the very workshop of God. Yes, you heard me correctly. Your imagination, that inner world of thoughts and images, is the creative power of the universe itself, individualized in you. This is not hyperbole, my friends, but the fundamental truth of existence. In the next hour, you have the power to completely revolutionize your life. How, you may ask? By understanding and applying the law of assumption. This law states that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions. What you believe to be true, what you accept as real in your imagination, must and will manifest in your physical reality. Now let us delve deeper into this concept. Your conscious mind may rebel against this idea, citing past experiences, current circumstances, or logical arguments as to why this cannot be true. But I tell you with absolute certainty that your subconscious mind knows no limits. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts and manifests. Think of your desire, that which you wish to experience in your life. It matters not whether it is wealth, love, health, or success. Whatever it may be, know this, it already exists in the infinite realm of possibility. Your task in this crucial hour is to bring it into your experience through the power of assumption. But how does one assume? It is simpler than you might think. Yet it requires a shift in consciousness that many find challenging at first. To assume a state, you must think from it, not of it. Let me explain the distinction, for it is vital to your success. When you think of a desire, you acknowledge its absence in your life. You see it as something separate from you, something to be attained. But when you think from a desire fulfilled, you embody the state of its realization. You live, move, and have your being as if it were already a fact in your world. Consider a man who desires financial abundance. If he thinks of wealth, he may say to himself, I want to be rich. I need more money. In doing so, he affirms his current state of lack. But if he thinks that, he embodies the consciousness of a wealthy individual. He feels the satisfaction, the security, the freedom that wealth brings. He does not wish for it. He knows it as his current reality. This, my dear friends, is the crux of the matter. In the next hour, I challenge you to assume the state of your desire fulfilled. Feel it, live it, breathe it, as if it were already yours. For in truth it is in the realm of imagination, which is the very substance of reality. Now some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? And to this I say, your physical senses show you only a shadow of reality. The true substance of things is not in their physical form, but in the consciousness that gives rise to them. Remember the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your assumption, is the very substance of your desire. It is the evidence that precedes physical manifestation. In this next hour, I urge you to tune into the silence of your own being. Close your eyes to the world of shadows and open your inner eye to the reality of your imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your desire realized. Do not concern yourself with the how or the when. These belong to the realm of manifestation, which follows the law unfailingly. Your part is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to live in the end as if it were already accomplished. Let me share with you a technique that you can use in this transformative hour. It is called the pruning shears of revision. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to promote healthy growth, you can revise your day, your week, or even your entire life to align with your desired reality. Here's how it works. Before you sleep tonight, review the events of your day. But instead of accepting them as they appear to your physical senses, revise them in your imagination to match your desire. If you had an unpleasant interaction, reimagine it as harmonious. If you faced a financial setback, see it as an unexpected windfall. This is not denial or escapism. It is the highest form of creativity, for you are literally rewriting the script of your life. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. As you engage in this practice, you may find that doubts arise. Your rational mind may interject with reasons why your desire cannot be fulfilled. Do not fight these thoughts, for what you resist persists. Instead, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let the peace and satisfaction of that state wash over you, dissolving all doubts and fears. In this 1 hour, you have the power to set in motion forces that will reshape your entire existence. But understand this, the law of assumption is not a one-time event. It is a way of life, a continuous state of being. You must persist in your assumption until it hardens into fact. Think of it as planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check its progress. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you trust in the natural process of growth. Similarly, once you have planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, you must nurture it with consistent assumption and unwavering faith. Now let me address a common misconception. Some believe that this teaching encourages passivity, that by simply imagining, one need not take action in the physical world. Nothing could be further from the truth. Action will follow naturally from your changed consciousness, but it will be inspired action led by an inner knowing rather than the frantic doing that stems from a sense of lack or fear. As you assume the state your wish fulfilled, you will find that opportunities present themselves, doors open that were previously closed, and synchronicities occur that seem almost miraculous. This is the law in action, rearranging the circumstances of your life to match your inner assumption. But remember, the outer world may not change instantly. There is often a time lag between your inner assumption and its outer manifestation. This is what I call the interval of time. During this period, you must hold fast to your assumption, regardless of appearances. This is where many falter. They assume the state of their desire, but when they do not see immediate results, they revert to their old patterns of thinking. But I tell you, the law is infallible. What you persist in assuming must manifest. It is not a question of if, but when. In this transformative hour, I urge you to be bold in your imagining. Do not limit yourself based on what seems probable or possible, according to your current circumstances. Remember, you are not bound by your past or by the opinions of others. You are bound only by your own assumptions. Dare to assume greatness for yourself. Dare to imagine a life so wonderful, so fulfilling, that it takes your breath away. For you are not a mere mortal struggling in a world of chance and circumstance. You are a divine being endowed with the creative power of the universe itself. As we near the end of this crucial hour, I want you to understand the profound responsibility that comes with this knowledge. For if your imagination creates reality, then you are the author of your life story. Every experience, every relationship, every circumstance in your world is a reflection of your inner assumptions. This may seem a heavy burden at first, but in truth it is the key to your liberation. For if you have created your current reality through your assumptions, then you have the power to create anew. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the master of your fate. In the remaining minutes of this hour, I invite you to make a decision. Will you continue to live at the mercy of your habitual thinking, accepting whatever life seems to hand you? Or will you take up the mantle of your divine creativity and consciously shape your world through the power of assumption? The choice is yours and the time is now. Do not postpone your good, waiting for some future moment when conditions seem more favorable. The only moment of creation is the eternal now. In this very instant, you can assume a new state of consciousness that will transform your entire existence. As we conclude this transformative hour, I want to leave you with a final thought. The practice I have shared with you today is not a mere technique or a clever psychological trick. It is the very essence of creation, the modus operandi of the universe itself. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power that brings worlds into being. You are claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the divine. This is not arrogance or hubris. It is the recognition of your true nature. So go forth from this hour with a new understanding of your own power. Let every thought, every feeling, every inner conversation be a conscious act of creation. Assume the best for yourself and for others. For as you lift yourself to higher levels of consciousness, you lift the entire world with you. Remember, the law is absolute. What you assume, you become. There are no limitations to what you can be, do, or have, except those you accept in your own imagination. So dream big, assume boldly, and watch as the universe moves to fulfill your desires. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. Not in some distant future, not after years of struggle and effort, but right now, in this very hour. The power is within you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and use it now. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but contribute to the transformation of the entire world. You are the light of the world. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for all who seek a better way. Go now and create the life you desire. Assume the best, expect miracles, and live on the state of your wish fulfilled. The world is waiting for you to realize your divine potential. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. Remember, this is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. Each day, each hour, Each moment is an opportunity to realign your consciousness with your desires. Be vigilant in your mental diet, feeding your mind with thoughts and images that support your assumptions. As you go about your day, carry with you the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it infuse every action, every interaction. Speak, think, and act from the state of one who already has what they desire. This self-pretense or deception, it is the highest form of truth. For you are claiming the reality that already exists in the realm of infinite possibility. In the face of contrary evidence, stand firm in your assumption. The outer world may not yield immediately to your new state of consciousness, but yield it must, for it has no choice. It is a shadow, and you are the light that casts it. Change the light, and the shadow must change accordingly. Be patient with yourself and with the process. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is a new self-concept. There may be moments of doubt, moments when the old patterns of thinking try to reassert themselves. When this happens, gently but firmly return to your assumption. Remember, what you persist in assuming persists in manifesting. As you continue this practice, you will find that your entire perception of reality begins to shift. What once seemed impossible becomes probable, and what was probable becomes certain. You will start to see opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. You will attract people and circumstances that align with your new state of being. This is the law of attraction in action. But understand that you are not attracting things to you from the outside. Rather, you are awakening to the reality that already exists within you. The outer world is merely conforming to your inner assumptions. In this light, consider every experience in your life as a gift, a reflection of your consciousness to be embraced and, if necessary, revised. Even seeming setbacks or challenges are opportunities for growth and realignment. They are showing you where your assumptions may still need adjustment. As you master this practice, you will find that your creative power extends beyond your personal life. You have the ability to assume the best for others as well. See your loved ones as they wish to be seen. Assume the best for your community, your nation, your world. For as you lift your own consciousness, you contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. Remember, you are not separate from the world around you. You are an integral part of it, a unique expression of the divine creative power. As you assume states of greater harmony, abundance, and love for yourself, you make these states more accessible to all. In this 1 hour, you have been given a tool of immense power. Use it responsibly, use it lovingly, and use it consistently. The results may not always be immediate, but they are inevitable, for you are working with the very substance of creation itself. As we come to the close of this transformative hour, I urge you to take a moment to reflect on what you have learned. Feel the enormity of the power that resides within you. Embrace the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. And most importantly, put it into practice immediately. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. The perfect moment is now, and the ideal circumstance is your current awareness of your creative power. Begin now to assume the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel the reality of it. Live from that state, and watch as your world transforms around you. Remember, this practice is not about forcing or manipulating external reality. It is about aligning your consciousness with the truth of your being. As you do so, you will find that life begins to flow with greater ease and grace. Synchronicities will abound, and what once seemed like obstacles reveal themselves as stepping stones to your desired reality. In the days and weeks to come, be vigilant in your practice. Guard your mind against negative assumptions and limiting beliefs. Cultivate a mental atmosphere of expectancy and wonder. Look for evidence of your assumption manifesting in your world and give thanks for it, even before it appears in physical form. For gratitude is a powerful amplifier of your creative energy. When you give thanks for your desire as if it were already fulfilled, you align yourself even more powerfully with its manifestation. Gratitude puts you in a state of receptivity, opening you to the good that is already yours. As you go forth from this hour, know that you carry within you the power to reshape your entire existence. You are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but a divine creator, molding the substance of the universe with your assumptions and beliefs. Use this power wisely. Use it to create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment, not only for yourself, but for all those whose lives you touch. For as you elevate your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of the entire world. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. It is working for you right now, in this very moment. Your assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled is already in motion, already reshaping the circumstances of your life to match your inner vision. Trust in this process. Have faith in your own divine nature, and above all, persist in your assumption. For what you persist in assuming must inevitably manifest in your world. Go now and create the life you desire. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For you are the author of your life story, the creator of your reality. Write a story of greatness, of love, of abundance. Assume the best for yourself and for all of humanity. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your divine purpose, expressing the infinite. This is the promise and the potential of this one transformative hour. The seeds have been planted. Nurture them with your unwavering assumption. Water them with your faith, and watch as they blossom into the magnificent reality of your choosing. The power is yours. The time is now. Go forth and create miracles. You are not merely flesh and blood, bound by the limitations of the physical world. You are, in essence, pure consciousness, an extension of the infinite mind of God. And it is this realization, this awakening to your true nature, that holds the key to unlocking a life beyond your wildest dreams. But how, you may ask, does one come to this profound understanding? How does one tap into this wellspring of infinite possibility? The answer, I assure you, is simpler than you might imagine, yet it requires a fundamental shift in your perception of reality. The world you see around you, with all its seeming solidity and permanence, is nothing more than a projection of your own consciousness. It is a reflection of your inner state, your beliefs, and your assumptions about what is possible. And herein lies the great secret. To change your outer world, you must first change your inner world. This, my friends, is the essence of what I call the law of assumption. It is the divine principle that governs all of creation, and it is the key to manifesting your desires and living a life of true purpose and fulfillment. To understand this law, you must first grasp a fundamental truth. Imagination is the very substance of reality. The world you experience is not something separate from you, but a manifestation of your own imaginal acts. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption you hold about yourself and the world around you is constantly being externalized in your physical reality. Now I can sense the skepticism rising in some of you. You may be thinking, but Neville, I have tried positive thinking before. I have visualized my desires, yet they remain unfulfilled. To this I say, mere positive thinking or casual visualization is not enough. What I am speaking of is a much deeper, more profound practice, the art of living from the end. Living from the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It means entering into the state of consciousness where your desire is already a present fact rather than a future possibility. This is not mere daydreaming or fantasy. It is a deliberate, controlled use of your imagination to impress upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience. Let me illustrate this with an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The conventional approach would be to work harder, to struggle and strive in the hopes of one day achieving your goal. But this approach is fundamentally flawed, for it keeps you in a state of lack and wanting. It reinforces the very condition you seek to overcome. Instead, I urge you to assume the feeling of wealth and abundance now. Close your eyes and imagine with all the vividness you can muster what it would feel like to have all the money you desire. Feel the sense of security, the freedom, the joy that comes with financial abundance. Make this imaginal act so real that when you open your eyes, the world around you seems pale in comparison. But here's the crucial point. You must persist in this assumption. You must live and move and have your being in this new state of consciousness. For remember, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your in-check state. As you maintain this new self-concept, as you live consistently in the consciousness of wealth and abundance, the outer circumstances of your life will invariably reshape themselves to match your inner conviction. This, my dear friends, is the creative power you possess. It is the power to shape your reality through the controlled use of your imagination. And it is this power that you squander when you waste your life living in accordance with the limited beliefs and assumptions imposed upon you by society. But the law of assumption extends far beyond mere material gain. It applies to every aspect of your life, your relationships, your health, your spiritual growth. Whatever you desire to be, do, or have, you must first assume the feeling of already being, doing, or having it. This is the secret to living a life of true purpose and fulfillment. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about effort? What about action? And to this I say, inspired action will naturally flow from your assumed state of consciousness. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally guided to take the steps necessary to bring your desire into physical manifestation. However, this action will not feel like struggle or strain. It will not be the frantic, anxious activity of someone desperately trying to achieve a goal. Instead, it will be the calm, confident action of one who knows that their desire is already a fact, waiting to be expressed in the physical world. This, my friends, is the difference between wasting your life and living with purpose. It is the difference between being at the mercy of external circumstances and being the conscious creator of your reality. It is the difference between existing and truly living. But I must warn you, this path is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, persistence, and above all, faith. Faith not in some external deity or power, but faith in the God within you, the I am that is your true self. For you see, the great I am is not something separate from you. It is your very essence, your true identity. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God, for I am is the true name of the Creator. And whatever you attach to this mighty I am, you are decreeing it into existence. This is why it is so crucial to be mindful of your inner conversations, of the thoughts and assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. For every time you say, I am poor, I am sick, I am unlucky, You are using green creative power to perpetuate these conditions in your life. Instead, I urge you to make a new covenant with yourself. Begin to use the power of I am consciously and deliberately. Declare I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am loved, not as affirmations or positive statements, but as acknowledgments of your true state of being. For remember, your conception of yourself is what you really are, and your conception of yourself is all that you have to give to the world. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this seems too easy. Surely there must be more to it than this. And to this I say the greatest truths are often the simplest. The power to change your life, to achieve your every desire, to live a life of true purpose and fulfillment, it is your divine birthright as a child of God, as an individualized expression of the infinite creative consciousness. The reason why this truth seems too good to be true is that you have been conditioned to believe in limitation, in struggle, in the necessity of hard work and sacrifice. But I assure you these beliefs are nothing more than illusions, shadows cast by the limited thinking of man. In reality, there are no limitations to what you can be, do, or have, except those you accept in your own thinking. The entire universe is within you, waiting to be expressed. All the wealth, all the love, all the wisdom, all the success you could ever desire is already yours in potential. Your task is simply to align your consciousness with this truth, to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and to live from that state until it becomes your physical reality. But let me be clear, this is not a call to irresponsibility or inaction. On the contrary, it is an invitation to take full responsibility for your life, to become the conscious creator of your reality rather than a passive victim of circumstance. It is a call to action of the highest order, the action of consciously directing your imagination and assuming the feeling of your desires fulfilled. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of others in this process. You may be thinking, but what about my family, my friends, my colleagues? Don't they have a say in my reality? And to this I say, everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are reflections of your own consciousness, playing the parts that you have assigned to them through your beliefs and assumptions. This doesn't mean that others don't exist, or that their free will is negated. Rather, it means that your experience of others, how they treat you, how they respond to you, is a direct reflection of your own self-concept and your assumptions about them. Change your concept of yourself and others, and you will see a corresponding change in your relationships and interactions. This understanding liberates you from the need to change others or to wait for external circumstances to improve. It places the power squarely in your hands, for you realize that to change your world, you need only change yourself. But I must caution you, this power comes with great responsibility. For as you awaken to your true nature as the operant power in your world, you can no longer blame others or external circumstances for your life conditions. You must be willing to take full responsibility for your thoughts, your assumptions, and consequently, your life experiences. This, my dear friends, is what it means to truly live. To not waste the precious gift of life that has been bestowed upon you. It means to awaken from the slumber of limitation and victimhood, and to claim your rightful place as a conscious creator, as an individualized expression of the divine. But how, you may ask, does one begin this journey of awakening? How does one start to apply these principles in daily life? The answer lies in a practice I call revision. Revision is the art of consciously reimagining past events in a way that aligns with your desires. It is based on the understanding that time is merely constructive consciousness, and that the past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the eternal now. When you engage in revision, you are not denying or suppressing what seems to have happened. Rather, you are exercising your divine right as a creator to choose which version of events you wish to make real in your consciousness. For remember, it is not the outer event itself that shapes your life, but your reaction to it, your interpretation of it. Let me give you an example. Suppose you had an unpleasant interaction with a colleague at work. The conventional approach would be to replay the event in your mind, reinforcing the negative emotions and potentially carrying that energy into future interactions. But with revision, you would close your eyes and reimagine the scene as you wish it had unfolded. See your colleague responding with kindness and understanding. Feel the warmth of a positive interaction. Make this new version so vivid and real in your imagination that it supersedes the original memory. As you practice revision consistently, you will begin to see a remarkable transformation in your life. Not only will your present and future experiences begin to align with your revised versions of the past, but you will also develop a deep sense of peace and empowerment, knowing that you are no longer at the mercy of past events or external circumstances. But revision is not limited to recent events. You can revise any aspect of your life story, any belief or assumption that no longer serves you. Were you told as a child that you were not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy of love or success? Revise these limiting beliefs. Go back in your imagination and hear words of encouragement and support. Feel the confidence and self-assurance that comes from knowing your infinite worth and potential. This practice of revision is not about denying reality or living in fantasy. It is about understanding the true nature of reality as a projection of consciousness and exercising your divine right to choose which version of events you wish to make real in your world. Now, I can sense that some of you may be feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of this teaching. You may be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, Neville, but where do I begin? How do I put this into practice in my daily life? To this, I say, begin with the end in mind. Choose a desire, something you wish to be, do, or have. It could be anything, a new job, a loving relationship, improved health, financial abundance. Whatever it is, define it clearly in your mind. Now close your eyes and enter into a state of relaxation. Let go of all tension in your body and mind. As you relax, begin to imagine a scene that would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. What would you see, hear, feel, smell, taste if your desire were already fulfilled? Most importantly, feel the emotion of your wish fulfilled. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of accomplishment. For it is this feeling that is the secret to your creative power. Your emotional state is the channel through which your imaginal acts are impressed upon the subconscious mind and brought into physical manifestation. As you emerge from this imaginal act, carry the feeling with you. Let it permeate your entire being. Live from the assumption that what you have imagined is already a fact. This is what it means to live in the end. Now here's the crucial part. You must persist in this assumption. You must make your imaginal act more real to you than the evidence of your physical senses. This is where most people falter. They allow the apparent reality of the outer world to overshadow their imaginal act. They give up at the first sign that things are not changing as quickly as they'd like. But I assure you, if you persist in your assumption, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, your outer world must conform to your inner conviction. It is law. For remember, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state of consciousness. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the reality of your imaginal act is what separates those who transform their lives from those who continue to live in frustration and limitation. It is the key to not wasting your life, to living with purpose and power. But let me be clear, this is not about forcing or willing things to happen. It is not about struggle or strain. It is about aligning yourself with the natural creative process of the universe. It is about allowing your desires to unfold naturally and effortlessly as you maintain the consciousness of their fulfillment. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. You may be thinking, but Neville, surely we must do something to bring our desires into manifestation. And to this I say, inspired action will naturally flow from your assumed state. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally guided to take the steps necessary to bring your desire into physical manifestation. But this action will not feel like effort or struggle. It will be the calm, confident action of one who knows that their desire is already a fact. This is the difference between wasting your life in fruitless struggle and living with purpose and power. It is the difference between trying to make things happen through sheer force of will and allowing your good to flow to you naturally as you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. But I must warn you, as you begin to apply these principles, you may face challenges. You may encounter doubt, both from within yourself and from others. You may face seeming setbacks or delays. This is where your faith will be tested. Remember, the outer world may not immediately reflect your new inner state. There may be a time lag between your imaginal act and its physical manifestation. This period, which I call the Sabbath, is a time of rest and assurance. It is a time to remain faithful to your assumption, regardless of appearances. During this time, you may be tempted to doubt, to question whether your imaginal act was real or effective. You may be tempted to return to your old patterns of thinking and behaving. But I urge you, do not waver. Hold fast to your assumption, for it is your faith, your persistent assumption, that will ultimately reshape your reality. This, my dear friends, is a true test of your creative power. It is easy to believe when things are going well, when your outer world aligns with your desires. But it takes real faith, real understanding of your divine nature, to persist in your assumption when everything seems to contradict. But I assure you, if you persist, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, you will see miracles unfold in your life. You will witness the power of your consciousness to reshape your reality in ways that may seem impossible from your current standpoint. Now let us address another crucial aspect of not wasting your life: the importance of living in the present moment. Many people waste their lives by constantly dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. They fail to realize that the present moment is the only point of power, the only place where life can be truly lived and experienced. When you understand the law of assumption, you realize that the past has no power over you except the power you give it through your present assumptions. The future is not something to be feared or anxiously awaited, but something you are creating now through your current state of consciousness. Living in the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the past or failing to plan for the future. Rather, it means being fully aware and conscious in the here and now, recognizing that this moment is where all your creative power lies. It means using your imagination constructively to create the future you desire, rather than letting your mind wander aimlessly or dwell on negative past experiences. This present moment awareness is crucial for effective manifestation, for it is only in the present moment that you can assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is only in the now that you can impress upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience. Moreover, living in the present moment allows you to fully appreciate and enjoy the life you are creating. Many people waste their lives by constantly chasing after future goals, never pausing to appreciate the journey or the present moment. They fail to realize that life is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be lived and enjoyed. By living fully in the present, you can experience the joy and fulfillment that comes from being alive, while still working towards your desires. Another crucial aspect of not wasting your life is understanding the importance of your self-concept. Your self-concept, or the beliefs and assumptions you hold about yourself, is the foundation upon which your entire life experience is built. Many people waste their lives by accepting limiting beliefs about themselves, never realizing their true potential. They go through life believing they are not good enough, not smart enough, worthy of love, or worthy of us. But I tell you, these beliefs are nothing more than illusions, shadows cast by the limited thinking of man. To truly live, to make the most of the divine gift of life, you must cultivate a self-concept that aligns with your desires and your true divine nature. This means consciously choosing to see yourself as the person you wish to be, regardless of current circumstances or past experiences. It means affirming your divine nature, your infinite potential, your worthiness of all good things. As you consistently maintain this elevated self-concept, you will find your outer world reshaping itself to match your inner conviction. In conclusion, my dear friends, the key to not wasting your life lies in awakening to your true nature as a divine creative being. It lies in understanding and applying the law of assumption, in living from the end, in reviving your past, in being fully present in the now, and in cultivating a self-concept that aligns with your highest aspirations. It means taking full responsibility for your life experience, recognizing that you are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. As you embark on this journey of awakening and conscious creation, remember that you are never alone. The infinite creative power of the universe is always with you, for it is your very essence. Trust in this power, have faith in your divine nature, and persist in your assumptions. For as you do so, you will witness the miraculous unfolding of a life beyond your wildest dreams, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true joy. This, my friends, is what it means to truly live, to make the most of the precious gift of life. Go forth now and create the life you desire, for all things are possible to him who believes.